So, August 7th, 2025, that's the day the AI world got shaken up. Again, OpenAI dropped their latest model, GPT-5, and they made a claim that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction. They're not just saying they built a smarter chatbot, they're claiming they've put a PhD-level expert right in your pocket. So let's unpack what that really means. You know, that quote from Sam Altman, it's easy to write that off as just some slick marketing, right? But it's meant to be a fundamental promise about what this tech can do. So what does that actually mean? Having a PhD-level expert on call 24/7? All right, so first up, let's really get into what this whole PhD-level intelligence thing is all about. What makes it so different from the AI we've been using up until now? Okay, so probably the easiest way to wrap your head around this is with an analogy they've been using. Think about it like this. GPT-3, that was kind of like a really bright high schooler. GPT-4, that was a solid college student. But GPT-5, now we're talking about a PhD-level expert. And that's not just about, memorizing more stuff. It's about a totally different kind of thinking, a way of tackling really complex problems that have multiple steps. And you know what this means for you? The whole experience just got a lot smoother. Remember that model zoo where you had to choose which version of ChatGPT to use? Yeah, that's gone. Now it's just one unified system. There's this smart router working in the background that does all the heavy lifting. It decides if your question is simple enough for the fast model or if it needs to fire up the big guns, the thinking mode. All you have to do is ask. The AI figures out the rest. Okay, so you've got this super smart, self-managing PhD ready to go. So what can you actually do with it? Well, this is where we get to the fun stuff. Your new AI superpowers. So just a quick rundown. We're talking about creating actual software, like apps, just by describing them. Then there are these agentic tasks. That means the AI can take on a whole project by itself, from start to finish. It's got special modes for really deep problem solving, a voice that sounds way more human, and, this is a big one, it can connect right into your everyday stuff, like your Gmail, your calendar, your Drive. Let's zoom in on that software on demand thing for a second. Some people are calling it vibe coding, which I kind of love, and the way it works is just wow. You literally just describe an app idea in plain English, GPT-5 spits out the code, then you can just talk to it, tell it to make the button bigger or change the color to blue or add a user login, and within minutes, you have a working app. I mean, think about that. That changes everything about who can build things. And this right here, this is the leap from just being a clever tool to being a real partner. It can now chain together dozens of different actions. So imagine telling it to research the best flights to Tokyo, book one, add the details to your Google Calendar, and send a confirmation email to your boss. And it just does it, all without getting confused or losing track of what you asked for in the first place. That's a huge deal. It's like the difference between having a calculator and having a personal project manager. All right, so these new powers are, frankly, mind-blowing. But you knew there was a but coming, right? With any huge leap like this, there are always new rules, new limits, a bit of a reality check. So one of the big ones is the AI's memory, what the pros call the context window. And man, the difference between what you get for free and what you pay for is, well, it's huge. If you're a free user, you get about 8,000 tokens of memory. That's not bad, but if you're trying to get it to analyze, say, a really long report, you're going to hit that limit pretty quick. But for enterprise users, we're talking a massive 400,000 token window. It's a classic tiered system, right? It's how they can give some access to everyone while covering the crazy costs of running this thing at full power. OpenAI is also rethinking safety. You know how frustrating it is when the old models would just hit you with a brick wall? Sorry, I can't answer that. Super annoying. Well, the new approach is something they call safe completions. The idea is that instead of just refusing, it'll try to give you helpful, safe information, but it'll also explain why it can't go all the way. It's a much smarter, more nuanced way to handle things, less frustrating for us, but still safe. But look, that whole safe completion idea only really works if the AI isn't just making stuff up, right? It has to be reliable. And that's where the numbers get pretty wild. When they tested it on tough medical questions, its hallucination rate, that's the fancy term for when it just invents facts, was down to just 1.6%. Getting that error rate so low is everything. It's how you build trust, especially if you want this thing working on important stuff. Now, obviously, OpenAI didn't drop this thing into a quiet room. No way. It landed right in the middle of a full-blown, knockdown, drag-out fight for AI dominance. So let's talk about the great AI race. First corner you've got is the massive partner, Microsoft. Their CEO, Satya Nadella, was all over this launch, talking about how GPT-5 is getting baked into, well, everything. Microsoft 365, GitHub Copilot, Azure. When you have a partner like that, you get instant, massive scale on day one. But then, almost before the applause died down, the biggest rival fires back. Elon Musk, over at xAI, doesn't just say his model is better. He puts out this pretty direct warning to Microsoft. I mean, the gloves are off. This is public, it's intense, and it's happening in real time. And make no mistake, this is not just a two-horse race. The whole field is on fire. You've got Anthropic playing chess, dropping their new model right before this launch. You've got Musk already talking about what's next. And then you have Wall Street, with banks like JP Chase basically saying, yeah, OpenAI is the leader for now, but that lead is looking more and more fragile. And you know what all that competition means for you and me? Better products, faster innovation, and probably lower prices. That's the upside of a good old-fashioned tech. So when you put it all together, the incredible power, the real-world limits, the cutthroat competition, where does that leave us? It all points to the one big question everyone's asking. Is this it? Is this another major step on that long road to AGI? And before we really dive into that, just consider one more stat that really sets the stage. GPT-5 is 80% less likely to make a factual mistake than the last model. 80%. That kind of leap in reliability isn't just an improvement. It's what makes all the other stuff, the autonomous agents, the critical tasks, even possible. But maybe the thing that tells you the most about how big this is the reaction from the guy who built it. Sam Altman said that after he tested what GPT-5 could do, he felt useless and scared. He even made a comparison to Oppenheimer and the atomic bomb. I mean, wow. When the creator of the technology says that, you know this isn't just another product update. They believe they've built something truly world-changing. So that really brings us back to the final question, doesn't it? What we're looking at here, it's obviously so much more than just a better chatbot. The tech is real. It's here. So the question for all of us is this the moment? Is this when AI stops being just a tool we pick up and use and becomes a genuine autonomous partner that's woven into every part of our work and our lives?